Three words to describe myself: pretty average looking. There's quite a lot of people actually, to be fair. Like, my career's sort of been broken up into quite a few like different eras sort of thing, but I think my dad obviously, because he took me everywhere when I was a kid, Ian Bowman from Barnsley Blacks, Mick Lodge was a massive influence to me when I was younger, and more latterly Lee Kerry. From past, it's got to be Ivan Marks, hasn't it? I never got a chance to watch Ivan fish, which is a massive shame, but obviously the legend speaks for itself. And I would have loved to have spent some time on the bank with Ivan, because I think he fishes, obviously the tales of Ivan was legendary. Present, Steve Ringer is sort of my all-time hero really. You know, I'm good friends with Steve now, and I just think he's the best. And then probably Lee Kerry, to be fair. I think for what he's done in recent times, and team fishing, and now individually, and the England team, so I think he's just such a phenomenal angler. And as bad as this sounds, he's probably a bit underrated, to be honest. I've been match fishing since I was probably about 10 years old. I've been fishing since I was 5, but I definitely was about 10 when I started going on club matches with Starbeck Angling Club. My first ever match wins was probably with Leeds Juniors. I can't remember the exact match, but it was probably on the canal, because I used to win most of the canal matches when I was a kid. Everyone else was really good at carp fishing, but I was really good at scratching out £3 or £4 on the canal for some reason. So it was probably the Aaron Calder Canal at Woodlesford. It might have been like £4 or £5 a roach, something like that, but it was certainly a canal match. When I was about 15, I wasn't driving, so probably 15, I was probably still at school. I used to go to a place called the Willows at York, and I won a lot of matches there. So without knowing exactly, I think it would have probably been a nice open match there, and there used to be sort of 50 people there, so it was a good match as well. Most memorable match win is from my junior angling days, and I always remember because I'd read and watched videos and whatnot of Drayton Reservoir when it was in its heyday and its pomp, and we had a junior match there. We used to go down on a coach and a minibus, and I always remember we'd never been before, and it was one of those, I read up so many things on angling forums and stuff, and I remember I had a bag of ground bait that I'd mixed together. It had bloody turkey pellets in it and all sorts of stuff, and it was the days of the bagging waggler, and I took a carp rod, and I always remember because my dad said, if you break the club record, I'll buy you that matchbox in the tackle shop. It was a lovely little free draw matchbox that I wanted, and I drew next to Ben Fisk, who obviously used to work for Angling Times, now sponsored by Matrix, and we had a right laugh. I was chucking this great big bagging waggler out. At the time, I thought I was chucking it 100 metres, but the reality was, looking back, I was probably chucking it 30 metres, but I was the only one to be doing it at that time, and I caught 144 £144, which has obliterated the club record, and it got me my matchbox. It's 2. I'm going to cheat a little bit and say 2. The first one was winning the Division 1 National with Garbalino Ossett. At the time, Ossett they'd won the National before, but they were very much, you know, they weren't a top team. They were just that level below, but we had a great squad at that time. Mick Lodge, Andy Geldart, Gary Jubfish for us, Tony Hopkins, just real good, Mark Wainwright, just real good anglers who in that area were just phenomenal, and I learnt so much, and we were fishing the new junction all the time then, and it was just brilliant. We won it with, I think we just scraped by another local side, Census Thorn, and we won it by just a couple of points on a really hard day, and I myself was 5th in the 67 peg section and stuff like that. It was just one of those moments I don't think I'll ever recreate, because I was only young. I was only 18 at the time, or 19, and just one of those memories that'll never go away. And then probably individually, I think winning the Maver Classic at Larford was probably my favourite individual match win, just because it was a 2-day match. Larford was really in its heyday at its time. The fishing was amazing, and it was like tight pegged, and it was just, when I was 18 and won like £4 grand and stuff, it just seemed like it was massive, and all the press were interested at the time and stuff, so I'd probably say that one. Best match weight was at the Glebe. I had 297 pound on Casters Shallow, but I've never gone above the 300 pound mark. Well, at the moment it would probably be chub fishing on cheese paste, but on when it comes to match fishing, even though I don't do so much of it, I do like catching roach on the pole, so probably a nice river, probably catching roach on hemp with a nice strung out Chianti. I don't think it gets much better than that, to be honest. Not that I play, I did play football for a while until Jake broke his leg and it put me off for life, to be honest. But in all seriousness, I follow loads of sports. I'm really into football, mainly football to be fair, and I watch it, you know, every weekend. Play a few darts as well when the time comes. Used to play it at DHP with these guys all the time as well, and sometimes watch MMA as well. I follow that quite closely as well. Florida Keys. I went there when I was younger, and I only managed to go on the Everglades side where it's shallow. I caught a shark and stuff, but I would love to go in the main sea fishing for those marlin and stuff. I just think if you're going to spend one day, last day doing it, might as well be doing that. Definitely my hook length boxes. Obviously preparation's a massive part of match fishing now, so having my hook length boxes full of hooks. I'm cheating a bit there because there's a lot of different patterns and stuff in there, but I think nice hook length box full of hooks would be one. Pole pots, obviously a massive part of fishing now. Yeah, pole pots, and yeah, my pole, definitely. Do I regrets fishing? I had a few real near misses when we used to go Whiteacres a lot. There was one particular festival where I won the match the first 3 days of the festival, and I was flying, and it was I was really on top of my game then, and I was fishing well, and I was in tune with Whiteacres as a venue, and then I just let it slip the last 2 days, and I come 6th I think in the festival, but I should have won it. That was a big one. I think there's fine margins at Whiteacres, and I seem to remember missing out by a couple of pound on one of the days for like 2nd or 3rd, and that would have probably won me the festival, so that was a bit of a gutter. Yeah, probably that. I'm ever so good at coming 2nd, I am in stuff, and I'm really good at, like, I'm a regular coming 2nd person. So there's a few times where I've been close and I should have won, and I always think if I'd have been more positive, made a few different choices, then I might have, you know, won some bigger things and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a few that have probably come out, you know, I've just missed them by being a little bit negative, but there you go, you live and learn. There's loads, isn't there? There's loads of real good characters in match fishing. Probably, and this is not a regular one, Pete Barron, back from my days when I used to live in Knaresborough. Pete Barron, for anyone who knows, from the Bradford area, oh my God, he's relentless. The banter, the abuse, just everything. I mean, just a legend of a bloke. The competitive side of it, I mean, I love fishing, like, so I can go, like I've done all winter, chub fishing, and I can sit here today and pleasure fishing. I'm perfectly happy, but obviously that competitive side of it is what really does it for me, and I do like mixing it up. Like, I have little campaigns, like this year I'll probably come here quite a bit, and like last year I was pace fishing a lot, and that's, in my head, I have to do that. I've got a bit of, it's not OCD, but it's something like an obsessive nature, and I sort of zone in on one thing and do it, and then it's almost like I forget about it. So maybe the obsessive side of it. The bitchy horribleness that goes on Facebook, I just can't be doing with any of it. Casters. It's just great, aren't they? They're just obviously very versatile. Can take them on a river, catch loads of fish. Take them on a cart water, catch loads of fish. Yeah, casters every time. Tea. 2 bags of Yorkshire's finest. £15 a roach every time. Don't actually bring any. I just never have them. It's just one of those things. I would like to say it's because I'm on a diet or something, but I'm not. I've just never ever been a snack guy. My last match was the Angling Trust Commercial National, which was sandwiched in between 2 lockdowns in October, would you believe. I haven't managed to get out since then because I was trying to stick local and there wasn't anywhere to go, to be honest. So yeah, I think I was 4th in my section in the Commercial National, so good result for the team. Next match is on Easter Monday here at Yokill Farm Fisheries, funny enough. I've been coming here, I've been 4 times doing little bits of filming and stuff, and I thought about time I come and give it a go in match conditions. The one match I would have loved to win, it wasn't really a match, it was a series of matches. Obviously I used to think the Camasan Matchman of the Year, and later the Preston Matchman of the Year, that for me was like a real, especially back in the olden days when it was natural venues and stuff. I thought that was a brilliant competition, that, because obviously took into account what someone did the whole year. So I would have loved to have topped that. And I remember when one of my best mates, Adam Richards, won it when he was like 17, and it was like so much effort he put into that to win that. And later, like Andy Bennett, Andy May, people like that. I think that as an all-round ability would have been top of the list, with the Drennan Knockout Cup following really close.